This right here is the brand new Leica SL3-S, which Leica themselves basically said is the same thing as the SL3, only with a 24 megapixel sensor, 6K open gate recording as an option, and at the time of this recording, about $1,700 less than the SL3. And that's basically all there is to this camera, so thank you so much for watching. Make sure you're subscribed to B&H Videos for all the latest and great...
Just got word, I think there actually might be a little bit more.
Oh, there's more?
Yeah.
Okay, cool, thanks. So the SL3-S, like the SL2-S before it, basically is the more modestly priced video-centric version of its bigger sibling. So what this means is you're getting a lot of the improvements that came with the SL3. This means you're getting the exact same smaller and lighter camera body, you're getting the tilting screen, which is very nice and convenient for framing your shots. You are getting the new phase detect / contrast-based autofocus system, which works much better than the previous versions did. You're getting the same redesigned UI, so you're getting all of those benefits. But what you're also getting are a lot more specific video improvements, such as the ability to record ProRes RAW and Blackmagic RAW externally, the ability to record ProRes internally up to 5.8K. And you can also record that to an SSD now through the USB-C port, which is also brand new, and also hardware level encryption for content authentication to protect your photography. But let's start with the photography side of things. So right off the bat, you're getting a brand new 24 megapixel sensor. It's backside illuminated, and it includes the new phase detect / contrast-based autofocus system that the SL3 introduced. And so far in our experience, it's been working really well. We've been trying to push it, especially with some spooky, noirish, sort of low light video tests, and it's been holding up really well in that regard. Now, another advantage you're actually getting with this is just the sheer burst rate you can get out of this. On the SL3, you're getting 15 frames per second. On this guy, you can get up to 30 frames per second thanks to the 24 megapixel sensor. So sheer performance is actually really good on this camera compared to the SL3. And another improvement with this camera is handheld multi-shot, where the camera can take multiple exposures and stitch together up to 96 megapixels to make a very high resolution still. Now, previous Leica cameras could do this on a tripod, but this is the first one that can do it fully handheld, which makes it much more usable. Now, Leica claims up to 15 stops of dynamic range on the SL3-S, and while we weren't able to test this extensively, in our experience so far, the image quality is exactly what you'd expect from a Leica camera. Images are vibrant and detailed, and the raw images are very easy to grade thanks to the dynamic range that you're getting on this. But like I alluded before, the main differences between the SL3-S and the SL3 really come in its video modes. With the SL3-S, you're able to record ProRes RAW and Blackmagic RAW externally to compatible recorders up to 5.9K, but we weren't able to test that at the time we had this camera, unfortunately, but we were able to test the internal ProRes. Now, the SL3 could do internal ProRes, but it could only do this at 1080p. This guy can do it up to 5.8K ProRes 422 HQ. Now, we observed when we were testing this that there were certain modes you could only record internally to either the SD or CF-Express-B card. If you want to do ProRes, you basically have to do CF-Express-B. But if you want to do the full 5.8K, you have to do that to an SSD, which really actually opens up the ability to take advantage of ProRes, because ProRes, very easy to grade, very easy on your NLE, just really big files. But the other really snazzy thing that's new with this guy is open gate 6K recording, which you can do internally, which is great because what it does is it lets you use the full height and width of your sensor and allow you to essentially reframe and recrop your image in any way you possibly could. So this means you can shoot open gate and then crop it in so that you're getting 16:9, 17:9 aspect ratios for like cinematic video. Or if you want to shoot vertical video, you can also crop in using the full height, which is great. I know that's blasphemous to some of the people watching this, but it really does make it so much easier when you can just take one single clip and then recrop and reframe it any way you want. But if you're a more meat and potatoes vertical video shooter though, you'll be happy to see that the on-screen interface rotates with the camera body as you rotate it. I suppose I should mention though, the only thing you technically can't do on the SL3-S that you could on the SL3 is 8K because of that much larger megapixel sensor. But really outside of that, if you were just looking at the video features, the SL3-S is a really good option compared to the SL3. Now, I sadly never got hands-on time with the original SL3, so this is my first experience with Leica's new hardware and UI design, and I gotta say it's a very good first impression. The menus have been very snappy for me, the icons, or as Leica calls them, Lycons, are very clearly readable, and the magnesium aluminum body is robust and has an IP54 rating for water and weather resistance. Now, in addition to the media inputs I mentioned earlier, such as the CF-Express-B, SD card slot, and SSD recording, you're also getting 3.5mm ports for mic and headphone, full-size HDMI out, and even timecode interface actually at the top of the camera. Now the camera also takes the same BP-SCL6 batteries from the SL3, and obviously the most important hardware difference between this and the SL3 is the fact that the Leica logo on the top is black instead of white, so honestly that's worth the price of admission alone. Now the SL3S has a few other tricks up its sleeve as well. It's the first SL camera to feature hardware-level content credential encryption to protect the authenticity of your work. Now this is particularly useful for photojournalists who want to be able to track how an image was captured and edited from beginning to end. In-body image stabilization is present here as well and looked really good in the handheld tests that we got. Finally, Leica's Photo app will be updated to support tethered preview for the SL3S as well and allow you to transfer photos to your phone up to 40 megabits per second. I should also mention you're getting a lot of cool accessories that will be available with this camera, including a battery grip to extend your battery life, but also a dummy battery. And if you have a battery solution and a storage solution, such as a dummy battery going to like a V-mount, let's say, and a large SSD, video recording on this camera is technically unlimited. As long as you have storage and battery power, you can record indefinitely, which is also really great. So in our brief hands-on time with the SL3S, we had a ton of fun with it. It's really a great option for anyone who is looking at the SL3 and either doesn't need 60 megapixels or just wants more video capabilities out of their Leica camera, all while saving a very healthy chunk of change. But what are your first impressions of the SL3S? Do you see yourself becoming a Leica video shooter? This is the internet, so we know you have hot takes, so let us know in the comments below. Seriously, we do read them. I'm Nick with B&H. Stay creative.